Let's talk about Proposition 51.
Tell me about it, stud.
This is a $9 billion taxpayer bond that goes to improving schools and universities across California.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
However, as politics usually goes, it may not be as good as it seems.
What do you mean?
$9 billion is actually $17 billion if you include interest, and this is the first educational bond ever to be proposed not by the legislator, but by the construction industry, which will receive a majority of the funds. But nothing wrong with making a buck, and this is supported by both Democrats and Republicans and most of the state legislature, but it's opposed by Jerry Brown, our governor, as well as most major newspapers across the state, because they're saying wealthy districts will disproportionately get the money because they can afford contractors that can help them apply for the money in the bond, where poor districts may not be able to get their fair share. But a ton of teachers are saying, show me the money! So, do we want to pour $9 billion at the problem or pass it down to the local level? You decide. Let me know what you're thinking. Let's talk about Proposition 54.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This proposition wants to make it so that the legislator has to put all bills online 72 hours before they're voted upon.
Can you explain what internet is?
Seems like a pretty good idea, and it has a ton of support across the state. Interestingly, it's opposed by the Democratic Party. They say this allows too much time for special interests to fly into Sacramento and potentially negatively influence a bill.
I'm leaving on a jet plane.
And since the Democrats have almost a supermajority, they don't want anybody influencing their bills. I have to say that's a pretty good point, but I don't think it's enough to make this proposition fail, since voters are hungrier than ever for government transparency.
A swamp of absolute corruption.
Right now it's at 66% approval and only 9% against. So it looks like no matter what you think, it's probably going to pass. But hey, don't take my word for it.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
It's current state law that the VA receives all drugs at least a 24% discount. Prop 61 says that all government agencies would receive the same discount. This would include about 12% of Californians, including people on Medi-Cal, prisons, and some teachers.
Your love is my drug.
Big Pharma has spent over $100 million opposing this proposition. That's the most money ever spent in the history of propositions. Interestingly, they have pretty strange bedfellows, including Veterans Affairs, business associations, and doctors association, many of which do receive donations from Big Pharma. They say this could actually raise drug prices because drug companies will be looking to recoup costs in other areas. Proponents like Bernie Sanders are saying that this is ground zero for stopping price gouging from drug manufacturers.
We can begin to take on the pharmaceutical industry, who are ripping off the American people every single day.
The fact is, drug companies could choose to screw us and raise prices if this passes. Do we let the threat from drug companies that this could increase prices scare us into voting no?